What's up everybody, David Rodriguez here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about food, honestly. Probably the title of this video still will be why you should spend more money on food. May not be the best title, but I kind of took a step back. I don't know. The big thing, and the thing that I really wanted to hone in was that sometimes people give me crap about the food that I eat, and that I maybe might spend too much money on, like the healthier organic versions of food versus conventional regular foods. And my reasoning, my bro science reasoning, is that if you're going to spend money on something, why not spend it on food? Now, my reasoning behind this, and my basic bro science behind this, is that, which I guess is real science kind of, is that the foods that you eat play such a huge role in your body and in your life. And so, because again, right, if you want to think of your body as a vehicle or a car, and the fuel or the food that you're eating is fuel, and you wouldn't put bad gas in a car, right? Because it'd run poorly. It's the same thing with your body. Why would you eat poor, processed, or even eat too much food that would lead to an unhealthy lifestyle or an unhealthy weight? So, for example, and the reason that I say that it affects you so much is because I have a couple studies. So from Ansman in 2010, he says that even in utero, so even when you were a fetus developing inside your mother's womb, and even if you are a woman and pregnant, that the foods that you eat and that you consume actually influence the baby's palate. So as they swallow it from the amniotic fluid that they're floating around in, you affect the foods that they will be more predisposed to. Now, it's not to say that you couldn't obviously get them to eat healthier down the line, but why not just start from the get-go? And even then, why not even start before then? I have another one by Proctor in 2014 that says even having pre-pregnancy, a healthy pre-pregnancy body weight is going to lead to better pregnancy. You're probably not going to be, you'll probably have more appropriate weight gain. You're going to have it's going to just be more beneficial overall. And then even with medium intensity workouts during the pregnancy, there's a 48% decrease risk in hyperglycemia, especially within women who have a pre-pregnancy BMI of over 25%. And then having prenatal nutrition and a workout program, regardless of intensity, seems to show that it reduces gestational weight gain, so the weight that you gain while you're pregnant, and it decreases the weight retention that happens within the first 2 months of postpartum in women of normal pre-pregnancy BMI. So when you gain all that weight, if you were already a healthy weight before, and continuing to eat healthy, be healthy, work out, that once you finally have the baby, that weight that you gained for having to sustain a baby you will not retain that weight as much as somebody else who obviously wasn't healthy before, didn't led a very sedentary lifestyle, and ate poorly, will probably hold on to that weight for much, much longer. Okay, so now I'm off that horse. I'm not a woman, so I don't give my opinion, but whatever, regardless. Now I'm going to move on to, obviously, males. So for males, right, whenever we eat and we overeat, leads us to obesity. I have one study from Fui in 2014 that says even with moderate obesity, there is a decrease in testosterone, and that because of the insulin-related, the insulin-associated reductions and sex hormone binding globulin. So obviously, the more obese you are, the lower amount of testosterone that you're going to have. And as a functioning male, you're going to need more testosterone in order for hair, for sex drive, for building muscle mass, and for being and for also fertility if you're ever wanting to have children, right? Testosterone plays a pretty big role in all of those things. Basically, almost it's like you could say it's the hormone that it is the hormone that makes you a man, other than your Y chromosome, but whatever. And then even low testosterone rates lead to an increase in adiposity. So it creates this like vicious cycle that if you have lower amounts of testosterone, guess what? Your weight is going to go up. You're going to have increase in your weight. And because that increase in weight is going to lead to reduced insulin sensitivity, it's going to keep making you like feel worse, and you're going to keep eating and keep gaining more weight. It's going to keep driving that testosterone lower and lower. All right, and then now we kind of come to the point of where I wanted to talk about where I had first originally said that you need to spend more money on the organic versions of food. This was like my original point, but as it turned, it's hard to explain, but I'll do my best. So the reason that I said that was because organic foods, even though I have this study right here by Smith-Spangler in 2012, that there is not a nutritional huge or statistically insignificant difference between conventional foods and organic foods. So if you have like a regular tomato versus like the organic tomato, there's not a huge difference in terms of nutritional value and or content. But the thing is that from that study they found three pretty big findings. Is that there is a 30% increased risk for pesticide contamination with the conventional foods as opposed to the organic foods. However, they say that the pesticide contamination is within safe limits for human consumption, but regardless, I personally would not want pesticides or anything of that nature within my body. The second thing they found was that there is no difference in risk for contamination, like bacterial contamination, between animal products or their like organic versions. So between like regular, I guess, beef and then grass-fed beef, they still have the same amount of risk for contamination by whatever it is. And then the third one is that conventional chicken and pork have an increased risk for contamination of like bacteria resistant to 3 or more antibiotics than organic alternatives, meaning that because the conventional chicken and pork they're pumped full of antibiotics. And so because of that, whenever there is a virus that comes along that finally like mutates and adapts and becomes much stronger, guess what? That chicken and pork is going to get infected with that high amounts, and plus with the constant antibiotic abuse in America in general, leading to like super viruses and things like that. That's what happens, because we just keep pumping everything full of antibiotics. And so now kind of tying this with like even safe levels of pesticides, that seems to be the big thing, is that pesticides still affect you even with safe levels. So from the study by Nicolopoulou, Stamati in 2016, that even if you have a safe level of pesticide A and a safe level of pesticide B, guess what? They can still interact with each other and synergize with each other within your body, leading to endocrine disruption. So the things that regulate your hormones, that can also mess you up. They've also found it, and because pesticides are everywhere, right? Because we're trying to kill pests for the various amounts of reasons, food, protecting things, protecting your crops, all that stuff. But it's so prevalent that you can even have found in human breast milk. And then when your baby digests and takes in those pesticides, it can also affect them neurologically and developmentally. DDT exposure in utero has displayed negative neurodevelopmental effects. Population-based studies have also revealed that there's a possible relations between cardiovascular disease, the male reproductive system, and that prenatal exposure has been correlated with a decreased gestational duration, so you're probably going to be more susceptible to having a premature baby, and having neurological problems developed within them. So even though that conventional foods may not necessarily, or organic foods may not be necessarily like healthier in terms of nutrition, I think that if we're looking at the whole human complex, that I think it is worth the investment of maybe just a couple extra dollars in getting the organic versions of foods. But obviously, if you're more worried about nutritional content, then yes, you'd be correct in saying that conventional foods and organic foods are nutritionally the same, especially if you're on a budget and you kind of need to focus. Maybe you just don't have the money at the time to really put time towards getting the organic foods. So lastly, I want to wrap this up with some numbers. This is just very basically compiled. There's not a whole lot of I basically just looked at the prices of what I thought was like a typical American diet. So or like what they would buy at a grocery store. So like Pop-Tarts, Capri Suns, Lunchables for the kids, frozen dinners, because nobody wants to cook anything after work, beer for dad, what else? Coke, Twinkies, ice cream, and then I went with the cheapest that I think I know of is that there's 99-cent big drinks from Sonic during happy hour. So if you went and you did that just once a week, all those combined roughly make anywhere on the low end, they make anywhere, it all adds up to about $68.78. Now obviously I didn't include tax, so the tax can change that, make it a little bit higher, right? And on the higher end, so if you buy kind of some of the things that are perhaps more in bulk, so like for the beer, was for a 12 pack was $12.97, and then for a 20 pack was $20.97. So the numbers change a little bit. Also adds up to $86 on the high end. So you're spending anywhere between 70-ish to, we'll just round up, 70 to 90-ish dollars on all this processed foods, and that's only for once a week. And so if you multiply that by 4, you could save or turn that money around and put it towards the more healthier versions, anywhere between $280, no, 90 times 4, $360 versus the $280, my bad, 280 to 360, 280, 360. So you have that extra amount of money to put towards healthier alternatives for you and your family. Now again, none of these have to be rapid changes. It's not like you have to drop everything and then all of a sudden just make the switch, right? Because kids are kids. You have to start introducing things slowly and diligently. But if you're really invested in the health, and this is my personal opinion, but if you're really invested in the health of both your family and of yourself, making those changes, right, will be very beneficial to not only just be so beneficial in the long run. Now, obviously, I'm not a huge prude about food, right? There's nothing wrong with going and getting some fast food on occasion, but if you're doing it every single week, and then especially if you're trying to get your kids into sports or you're trying to better yourself, you're only just pushing yourself farther and farther down the hole. And I don't have a family of my own to take care of, and I understand that, and that things aren't super easy, but again, if you're really wanting to make this health commitment a thing, then time can't be the excuse that you use in order to justify your unhealthy lifestyle and unhealthy eating behaviors and or sedentary lifestyle. So hopefully this didn't sound like I was too on my high horse about food or about eating healthy, things like that in general. It's just something that's important to me, and that when people kind of tease me about always spending lots of money on the foods that I eat, these were my thoughts, and I say, so why not spend more on food, just because it's so integral to your person. So I'm Neil Rodriguez, Stomped Tricking. Please like, subscribe. If you have any topics that you'd like me to talk about, I'd be happy to talk about them. Also, come to DF Dub for Texas Tricking Gathering, July 26th and the 27th. I might have those dates wrong. Please come. It's going to be loads of fun. I'll be there. All the Texas homies will be there. And I will see you on the next video. Peace.